right, we are live.
Okay. Let me
if we can see ourselves in the group.
Oh yeah, it says that you're on live. Okay, yeah, it says that you're on live. Let's see if I can find it. Let me go on to this and actually get on it. Yep, there we are. Giggling up a storm. Okay, right. Perfect. Okay, now I can see all the comments and everything.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. So
we are officially live, and we are finally on live together. This is our first time ever being live on together. The last time when we did the introductions, it didn't work out, and so we've got it all figured out, and now we are here. I'm Angela, and I am one half of Passion Legacy.
And I am Lizzie Alkire, and I am the other half of Passion Legacy Academy.
Yeah. All right. I'm so excited about doing this, our first Q&A. If you're on here, feel free to ask any questions. If you're on here, say hi. I can see the comments here on my phone. So if you're here, say hi. Tell us where you're from. If you have any questions, hi, Lily. If you have any questions, please leave any questions that you might have. The whole purpose of us doing this is so that you can get the most benefit out of this group as possible. And so that means that you might have questions that come up. And so it's all about us being able to answer any questions that you may have. No question is too small. No question is stupid. I don't care what anybody tries to say. So ask away. We don't mind. Hey, Stephanie, how are you?
Hi.
So we don't mind asking all the questions that you have. We want you to be involved and be engaged. And this is your opportunity to get what you can out of the group or out of the live or whatever is going on. So it's all up to you and your engagement and your questions that you may have.
Yes, we are so excited about answering them. So let us have them.
All right. Okay, the first question is, how do you know where to start?
All right, so starting is, you need mindset. You need first to discover your passion and know what type of business or way you want to make money online. Then you have to know how to make money online with that passion, of course. I recommend looking at what other people are doing along the lines of your passion. Like if you're interested in cooking, then I would look at what other chefs are doing or what other people are doing with their cooking passion and go from there.
Yeah. And just to add to that, even if you are not even sure about what your passion is or your purpose is, it's all about figuring out who you are so you can figure out what your passion is. We all have something that we're passionate about. Sometimes it's not as obvious. Sometimes it's not like in our face all the time. And so the best way to actually figure that out is to figure out who you are. And I actually talked about this yesterday in the live. And a lot of it is you can start with reading and connecting with yourself. And the best way to connect with yourself is through journaling. And so once you tap into connecting to yourself, you will figure out your passion, and then you can figure out ways to monetize your passion. And I promise you, you can do anything. That Expert Secrets that I've been reading, that guy started his whole business from building a potato gun. Okay, there is nothing that you cannot do. People teach chess online. People teach you how to like play Monopoly. You can learn how to give haircuts online. There is so much stuff. It is absolutely limitless. So you can find anything. It doesn't matter what you're passionate about. You can find anything. I promise you.
I learned all about doing my makeup from YouTube. I learned how to cut my hair from my friend just on a video chat. Like, you can do anything online, trust me.
Yep. Yes. So that is definitely how you can get started.
Yeah, read books, take courses, try new things, ask other people who have found their passion, what they're passionate about and how they went about discovering it, and maybe try what they're passionate about. See if it works for you too.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Trying new things is really important because you really figure out what it is that you do and don't like. But also, if you do the things that you're really scared of, that is usually where your passion is actually at. So if you are ready to take those risks and you really want to find out what you're passionate about, totally dive into what scares you. Like public speaking, going live. I don't know. Those are like some of the biggest fears I see. And so when you actually start to dive into those and start doing it, you might realize that you're actually passionate about. And then after you learn how to do it, you can teach people how to do it. And that is so, so important to figure all that stuff out, because essentially what you're doing is you are teaching people things that you have already been through. All they are is just a chapter or two behind you, or you're a chapter or two ahead of them. That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, there was the guy from Catch Me If You Can. It's actually based on a true story. And the man said, you know, when they asked him, how did you not get caught all of these years? How did you teach this class when you have no idea about the topic? He said, the only thing you need is to be a chapter ahead. That's it.
Yep. So that's all you need. The next question that Stephanie has is, what are some of the resources you use to get started?
Well, when you're building an online business, the first thing you want to do is build your infrastructure. So you're going to want to find tools like a scheduling tool. You want Google Calendar to keep track of your tasks. You want some kind of way to build an audience. So you want somewhere to build a community, whether that's a Facebook group or your website or a membership, or maybe it's your email marketing. You'll want something like that. What else?
I think the most important one is the email marketing, because you can actually, if you have some type of social media platform and a way to collect people's email addresses, you can have a website eventually, as long as people know how to be able to connect to you, and you can take their email addresses, because email addresses are like money for you. And why is that? Because you can go back to your email address and you can make massive amounts of money from your email address, as long as you are connecting with those people that are connected to you with their email address consistently, so that they're getting to know you. You're building that know, like, and trust factor with them. And then they will purchase from you just from your email list. So if you're not like ready to take on the tech part of it and do that website and stuff like that, then all you have to really do is have some type of social media platform and a way to take people's email addresses, and you can build whatever you want even without a website if you're not ready. A website is crucial, but if you think that if you don't get started right now and the website is just going to hold you back from getting started, then just do a social media platform and a website and an email list, taking emails so that you can have access to those people without social media, so you can actually do that. I've got to take my jacket off. I'm getting hot.
Now, email marketing is one of the best forms of marketing because it's something that you actually own. You own the email addresses you collect from all of your prospects. Now, if you were to build a Facebook group, Facebook could shut you down tomorrow and you would be at a loss. With email marketing, you'll always have that contact list. You'll always be able to send an email blast and make sales from that email. Yep. So email marketing is one of the best ways to build an audience because you own it. So it can't be taken away from you, which is nice.
Yes, I totally agree. And my favorite tool and I didn't pick this up at first because I'm always written in a journal. Like, I have books and books of ideas and stuff like that. And I would do all my tasking like in a planner and everything. Everything was always written down. But the best thing that I have used while growing my business is the platform Trello. And it's like a project management account. And all it does is it helps you stay on track. It helps you keep everything organized. You can stay so productive. And actually, since I've been using it, I don't use a planner anymore. I use a whiteboard and Trello, and that's it. So not only does that save me money, but I've also become 10 times more productive than I was before, because I can actually see when things are due and how close I am to getting them done. And I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna do this. So that's it. It's helped a lot. So if you are like needing to get more productive, Trello is definitely the key. I like Trello the most because I've tried Asana, and to me, it wasn't as easy to pick up as Trello. I have to watch somebody do it and do it step by step while they're doing it. And if I can't figure it out in like within 10 minutes, I'm not going to deal with it, because whatever system I was using before was working for me. And so I can't, not that I don't have the time, but I don't have the energy to try to switch to everything all the time. So if I can't pick it up in 10 minutes, I'm not using it. And so Trello was really, really easy for me to pick up. And that's why I ended up using it.
But the thing with tools is that some tools will work for you and other tools will not. So what works for you may not work for me, and vice versa. We all have our own way of doing things. We all have our own flow. So there's also Asana, which I'm not particularly a fan of Asana either, but I know Asana works for a lot of people. There's also Teamwork is free, Teamwork PM. It's a project management tool. And there's also Rike. Rike is also free. And Rike would be my second choice. I love Rike. Between Rike and Trello are probably my favorites. Yeah, and definitely. I like to call that your business hub, because it stores all of the information about your business. It stores your tasks. It keeps you organized. It keeps you focused. So you definitely want to put all of your tasks, all of your everything with due dates inside of some kind of system.
Yeah, exactly. So the next question is, how the heck do you make time for life? So I'm
not easily.
And then if you have anything to add, Lizzie, you can. The truth is, the real truth of the matter is that building an empire does become your life. If this is something that you're truly passionate and committed about, it really does become your life. You go to sleep thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it. When you're doing chores, when you're dealing with your kids, when you're doing all this stuff, you are thinking about it. There is no, and I want to say you can't shut it off, because that's not true. You absolutely can, but you are constantly thinking about it, because when you step away from your business, when you step away from your work, all of a sudden these ideas come crashing into you, and you're like, oh shit, I got to go write that down. I got to go do this. I need to put this somewhere right here, right now, before I forget about it. And then I lose it, and then I'm screwed, because then I can't remember what it is 20 minutes later. Right. So it truly becomes your life. Now, with that being said, the most important thing that you can do when you operate a business or you own a business is self-care. You must put yourself first. Otherwise, you are going to come crashing down on everything. You have to be willing to put yourself first, and you have to believe that you are worth putting yourself first. If you don't believe that you're worth putting yourself first, then you're not going to put yourself first. That's just all it comes down to. But you do have to put yourself first. And the best way to do that is to start your morning with self-care. I do not do anything especially Monday through Friday. I do not do any type of work until I've had my coffee and I've journaled. And from there, I start working, and then I work out and listen to my hypnosis and do all those things. Because if I do not journal before I get started, I promise you I'm freaking out the whole day. And I don't know what it is or why it's like that, but I am very attached to being able to journal first thing in the morning. And if I don't do that, I am totally reacting to everybody rather than responding. So, and the other thing that you want to be aware of beside doing self-care first is that it is okay to pause and break and take vacation. It is essential to do those things. I am all about being on the grind. That is so important. I'm a workhorse. That is like, that's, and before we like go into this again, get on topic. My human design is to actually be a workhorse. That is how I'm designed. And if you guys are interested in that, we can talk about that another time. But I am designed to work and work and work and work. However, I have to know that I need to be able to take a break, because working all the time is actually not good for you. If you want to continue to be creative and be inspired by your work and continue to be passionate, you have to be willing to slow down and take a break, and really go on vacation and do all those things where you're not plugged in, where you're not thinking about work, where you're totally and completely focused on you and your family and the things that matter to you. You have to do those things. Otherwise, you are going to totally and completely burn out. I promise you, because I've been there.
Absolutely. And really, you have to set up some systems in place. You have to have a dedicated area where you work in your home. Like, I like to work obviously from my kitchen. So when I'm in my kitchen at my laptop, that's work mode. My brain knows, let's focus on work now. And when I'm in the bedroom, my brain can shut off. So you really need to have these dedicated work areas. You should have dedicated working times so that once again, when you're working and when you can shut your brain off, because that's important. I like to work in the mornings and then at night when my kids are in bed. So those are my 2 dedicated working times. And I know that's when I need to be productive and that's when I need to focus. So having systems in place, and as Angela said, self-care is a really big one. One tip that I've picked up is to not check your phone first thing when you wake up, because it puts you into a reactive mode rather than, as Angela said, responding and being able to actually get through the day without just always being triggered and reacting to everything. So you don't want to check your phone first thing in the morning. Don't check email first thing in the morning. Really set up some self-care practices and routines so that you can get the most productive time done in the least amount of time, so you can focus on other things in your life.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why, because I actually work when my daughter is napping. So that means that
right now.
Yeah, that means that in the morning, I may have 1 to 2 hours between 10 and 12. And then in the afternoon, I have maybe 1 or 2 hours between like 2 and 4. So, I mean, for me, that's not enough time to be able to work. So I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get 2 hours of work done there. So by the end of the day, I usually have 6 to 8 hours done, but they're just breaks in between.
Yeah.
There are some things that I can do while Aubrey is up, but there are just some things that, I mean, you've got kids, they're totally and 100% your focus. It's like there's only so much you can do while they're awake. That's just the reality of it. So
especially when they're young.
Around. Yeah, I'm definitely learning that.
And I mean, we take our kids on our lives with us. We include them in our work as much as we can, because that helps, bridge the gap between work and life. So you have time to do both.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Sometimes you just have
to. You just have to. Stephanie says, I definitely need to do that. I need dedicated time for work. Yes, that is so important. And actually to touch more on that, I don't necessarily do this because I haven't necessarily had to. I'm extremely productive, but you can actually block off time for yourself. So let's say, like, for example, you have a YouTube channel and you need to upload YouTube videos like once a week or whatever. You can block off time for recording for 1 hour, editing for 1 hour. And then as soon as that time is done, you just jump on to the next thing. And then that way, for 2 hours, I have this time blocked off and I am dedicated to this work. And the most important thing that you could do is you can either have it in Trello or on a calendar or in a planner so that you are 100% committed to it, so that you can go full force in your work during those 2 hours, or even if it's just 1 hour. And if you do work like that and that totally works for you, then you want to schedule in your self-care. You want to schedule in the times that you're going to take breaks, the times that you're going to take lunch.
But on that note, definitely don't make your schedule too tight or too rigid, because that'll just stress you out, and then you're not going to hit those times, and it's just going to be a mess. It's going to be a waste of time. So you want to schedule in times, like little blocks, but don't make it too rigid. Don't be like 15 minutes here, I'm going to go brush my teeth, like it needs to allow for some flexibility as well. Like life happens, honestly.
Yeah.
So if it's too rigid, you don't have any space for life to happen.
Right. Absolutely. And in adding to that, you want to be able to let things go. So if you're not going to get to that, oh, well, life happens, you're just going to have to let it go. The most important thing you can do is get the 3 most important things done of the day. So if you have to edit that video because that YouTube video is going live tomorrow, then you've got to get that video edited and uploaded and whatever else. As long as you get those 3 things done, then nothing else matters. So so what I'm trying to say is it have 3 goals that you do for the day and get those done, and then the rest of it can just go.
And not only that, but I want you to look at your to-do list, and I want you to think about whether you're just filling your schedule with busy work and if it's actually helping you, or if there's a bunch of tasks that you're just doing to do them. Like you feel an obligation to do them, but they're not really something you need to take care of. Just cross it out. Don't do it. Don't worry about it. Do what needs to be done to earn your money and to build your empire, but don't just throw things in there just to do them.
Yep, I completely agree. All right. I was just responding to this. Okay. Do we have any more questions? Lizzie, I know you have some questions.
Yeah, what books should you read if you're just starting out? So I think one of my favorite books is She Means Business by Carrie Green. That one has given me a tremendous amount of motivation and insight over the years. I like to go back and read it whenever I need a little push, a little boost of motivation to really start building my empire. I love that book. I also love Expert Secrets. I even bought Angela a copy because it is just that good. I actually have it right here. Expert Secrets. It's amazing. That one is by Russell Brunson. He runs ClickFunnels, and he is just an expert at being an expert. That's for sure. I also really like .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. And he also has partnered with a man named Jim Edwards, who is amazing at copywriting, and he has Copywriting Secrets. And that one is also incredible. He talks about writing headlines, writing effective copy, and how to sell. So that is a really good book to pick up if you're first starting out also. And Angela, God knows I'll probably buy you a copy.
I hope you do. Can you put that in the comments, the name of that book and author? Yes. So what is it? Expert Secrets.
Okay, it's Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, and then there's .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. This is about websites and making them more effective. And then there is Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. And She Means Business by Carrie Green.
Copywriting Secrets, you said?
Yes.
Copywriting Secrets. She Means Business. Okay. Okay, I put those in there. Oh, I didn't put the author of She Means Business. Oh, I can reply. Hold on just a second.
Yeah, that's Carrie Green.
Okay. Okay, on the flip side, for personal growth, my favorite book ever has been The Four Agreements, and I have that in my bookcase somewhere. I don't remember who wrote it, but it is absolutely life-changing, and it's because we believe all these things just because we're conditioned to, not that it's wrong or bad or whatever, but some of the stuff that we have been conditioned to is not necessarily healthy for us in our lives. And so we do things like make assumptions, take everything personal. And so really what this book does is it just kind of opens you up to realize that there are four main principles that you want to live by. And it's to be impeccable with your word, always do your best, don't make assumptions. And there's one more and I can't remember it right now. Don't make assumptions. But anyway, there's something else and I can't remember it. And I'm sorry, I can't remember it. But there are these principles that you live by. And since I've read that book, I don't take anything personal anymore. And it's just been really helpful, so much so that I do intentions in the morning, and they're actually the intentions that I go by in the morning. And I wish I could remember that last one, but I can't. Also, there was another book that I just read that I feel like is so powerful for people that are just starting out for the online world, and it is by Russ, and it's all in your head. And he's a rapper, and it took him 10 years to get where he's at. And he went through so much to get to this point, right? He makes multi-million dollars now. And this whole time people were telling him, you can't do this. He learned how to do everything on his own. So he mixes, produces, makes the beats. I don't know what's all entailed with rapping or whatever, but he does it all on his own. He learned how to record videos, how to edit videos so that he can do it all himself. And he built an empire all on his name. And he said one of the most important things that he did was believe in himself when nobody else did. So yeah. I highly, highly recommend that book. It's All in Your Head by Russ. There are some other books. Let me get them. Hold on.
And really, you just have to focus on building up your mindset and building up. I forgot what I was going to say. Angela,
some of the other books that some of the other books are actually packed away, but this one, The 7 Money Secrets, can you guys see that? Okay. By Tony Robbins. This is an excellent book. I'm glad it came with a pack of books. My dog ate the last one, so I'm glad this came back. But if you really struggle with money or getting your money straight or wherever you're at, this is huge. I love this book. I haven't read these books yet, but I'm going to. This is Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. And if you guys know who Tony Robbins is, you're
Tony Robbins is amazing.
Yeah, you're just going to get excellent stuff out of Tony Robbins and Awaken the Giant Within. And I have this Richard Branson who owns Virgin. And so there's, it says, like a virgin, secrets they won't teach you in business school. So I grabbed this one. I'm very excited to read it. Oh, can you see it? Can you see it?
Kind of.
Okay. So those are some of the books that you can start reading that will be so helpful for you. Is there anything else, Lizzie?
Yeah. How do I find out what I'm good at? I think we kind of touched on that in the beginning.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's also what if I fail?
Okay, so let's talk about what if I fail.
Okay. You're going to fail.
It is all...
You're going to fail. You're going to fail over and over. That's how you learn.
Yes.
You're not going to not fail. Some of the most successful people in the world, they failed 99 times, but they had that one big success. And that is that you're going to fail. But failure leads to success.
Right.
You build your empire on a whole bunch of failures and mistakes, and eventually it turns to gold.
Yes, I completely agree. Look, it's just like doing things for the first time. Every time you do things for the first time, it sucks. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you have going on. Your first live is going to suck. The first video you ever record is going to suck. The first blog you ever write is going to suck. It's just going to suck.
It's all going to suck.
You just have to do it.
But eventually it starts sucking a little less and a little less. And then it turns good eventually.
Yes. And really, and this is what I want to talk to you about. You have to change. You have to reframe it. Failure is not really a failure as long as you keep trying. Now, that doesn't mean that exactly. It doesn't mean that you went and did something and you realize that it's not for you, so you're not going to do it anymore. That's completely different. But we are talking about, you are going to come up against things and you are going to fail. You are supposed to pick back up and tweak and make things perfect until you get it all figured out. It's really just an experiment, right? You're never going to know what works until it actually works. You have to be willing to fail, which really just means,
just get really comfortable with failure.
And you just have to me, I don't call it failure. We are learning lessons. We are going to continue to learn lessons until we succeed. And that's just how it works. And you cannot be focused. My daughter is, the door is closed and my daughter is on the doorknob. You have to be willing to look at it differently, because if you believe that all I've ever done is failed, then it's actually going to hurt you, and it's actually going to prevent you from the success that you truly desire in your life. Reframe it. It really is about learning lessons. And truthfully, if you've learned something from it, it's not really a failure. It's really a win.
Really, guys, failure is a good thing, honestly, because failure is how you know what works and what doesn't. And that is incredibly valuable information. So if you fail 900 times, that has shown you what does not work.
Yep, exactly. And really, you can fail 900 times, and then that 901 time that you went out and did something, it could be it, and it can make everything for you. Yep.
You're a millionaire.
Like an overnight success, even though that's the biggest BS I've ever heard. Jennifer says, I've totally failed a few times. Yep, we feel you, girl. We feel you.
Yeah, we feel you. We've failed plenty of times ourselves. You just pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, you get back in it. You just keep working, keep pushing.
Yes. Do we have any more questions?
What social media platform should I use? One. Just pick one.
Yes, definitely. And before you pick that one, you need to find out where your target audience is at. Some target audience is on Instagram. Some target audience is on Facebook. Some target audience is on YouTube. Depending, I feel like you can use YouTube with everything else.
Yeah,
however,
YouTube is a social media account, but it's more of a complimentary.
Yeah, and it's because it's kind of built like Pinterest. It's a search engine. That's essentially what it is. When you go to YouTube, you are seriously searching for something specifically most of the time. And so that's why it can kind of go with both of them. However, if that is too much for you, just focus on one platform. It's usually going to be Facebook, or it's going to be Instagram. It's going to be one of the two.
And when it comes to Facebook, do groups or pages one of them?
Yeah. Well, and it depends on what your goal is, I think, and what your audience is. You may not be ready to run a group, because running a group is a lot of energy. You do have to be really ready for it, and you want it to be like a movement. You want it to be this huge thing. You want people to be engaged and be involved. Otherwise, it's going to be like crickets, and then you're going to be discouraged, and then you're not going to feel good about it, and then you're gonna not want to do it, which I totally understand. So you want to make sure that before you start the group, number one, you're ready for it, but also it's truly what you want to do, and you understand how much is going into it. So definitely start with one platform and pick where your audience is. How do you know where your audience is?
It's really going to depend on your industry, honestly.
Yeah, and I agree.
Like
So
Instagram is going to be for more visually appealing things. Makeup is great for Instagram. Things where your industry, if you build like soap, I know we have some soap makers in the group. Soap is going to be great for Instagram because that's very visual.
right.
Go ahead.
Well, and just to add to what you're saying, what you can do is you can go in and search. There's always a search bar, and you can do like wedding photographers, family photographers, branding photographers, and you can see what's in there. And if you can see that there's like a slew of people that are already started and that's what you want to get into, then that's where you should be at. If you see, and you can do the same thing on Facebook. If you, and I know that it's going to be intermixed, right? Because Facebook is huge. Most of the time that is going to be where your audience is at. However, it is more visually, for visually like appealing things, it is going to be more Instagram is going to be more your flavor. It just depends on what is going on, but Facebook is usually going to be where it's at. But if you're talking more about things like with what we talk about business oriented, or with my other business, I talk about healing and taking care of yourself and doing all that stuff. That is going to be mostly on Facebook because it's not as visually appealing as, wedding photography or branding photography, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, not only that, but if you're running, like it, as you said, it really depends on what your goals are. If you're running ads, for instance, you're going to want a Facebook page. So you're going to want to build up that Facebook page. If you're running a blog, you're going to want to be on Pinterest because Pinterest is great for organic traffic towards your blog. If you're more of a professional, then you're going to want to go to LinkedIn because LinkedIn is great for building a corporate professional audience.
Yep. Okay. I think that covers it. Any more questions?
I think that's it. The only other one was, what are your favorite business tools? And we covered some of those.
Yeah, we did.
Project management, scheduling. For scheduling, I love Doodle, Calendly, or Acuity. For email marketing, I know Angela uses ConvertKit for one of her businesses. Yep. We use ActiveCampaign for Passion Legacy Academy. And MailChimp is actually free, and MailChimp is great for beginners to kind of get your feet wet. As far as social media goes, I'm sure everybody knows the social media options.
Yes.
We talked about what other project or whatever, what other tools are there? Let's see. Social media, email marketing, scheduling.
I think that pretty much covers it. I don't want to overwhelm them with like all these tools. There are just so many tools that you can use. It is absolutely limitless on what is out there now.
Yeah. Just drop us a comment in the group or make a post, what's your favorite tool for this? And we'd be happy to answer it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay. So I do think that is what we have for you today. We are already 10 minutes over, and we were talking about, I'm not sure we're going to last that long. Well, we sure did. So
yeah, we did.
Okay. So we will be doing this for you once a month. So if you come across, and it can be any questions, any strategy questions, any growth questions, anything, it's nothing is too small.
Talk about our lives. Let's do that.
All right, ladies, we hope that you have a great day, and we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.